Hello, Jamie from Inky&Scrappy, back with a new brilliant lady shaker card, and of course a few other cards, because I actually have a lot more boy cards to make for this year than I did for girl cards. So I die cut out, I like to do school colors when I can, so of course we're green and white, and so I die cut a whole bunch of hats from green cardstock and then some of the diplomas from white here. I'm just going to add a little bit of shading with that tea dye ink, and then of course with the, I think it's mowed lawn, I don't think, oh, rustic wilderness for my green here. I think I started with mowed lawn and it wasn't quite the right green I was looking for, so I ended up bringing in that darker one. Or maybe, I don't remember. Lucky Clover was the one that was the closest to our Kelly green, I think. Anyways, I die cut a whole bunch of them out, and then I kind of ink blended, did a whole bunch of stuff. I think I shared some of these previously, like ones that I had done in blue. I think I only shared them on Instagram. I don't believe I actually shared them on YouTube. But that die set is just amazing for big, huge focal points and great, big, huge, I don't know, for grad cards. They make them fairly quick and easy. So, and it's a lot easier to do the die cutting from that white cardstock and just hand color the little pieces on them. I guess my biggest thing, because they're all together, that's probably my biggest, I'd like to do different colored things sometimes, and so either you have to run it through multiple times, or just do white and then hand color them with alcohol inks, or ink blending on top of them works well. But it works really good to do all of your die cut pieces really quick and easy like this. I also really would suggest a silver marker, like I think I ended up using one that I had picked up from, I want to say it's Dollar General. They just had a silver marker, and so that's what I ended up using to color the tassels and the little emblems on the diplomas. So that saved a lot of time for this set, because when I did my first set, I tried to individually, it took forever. That's all I'm going to say. So, you learn, and you learn how to do things faster, and that was one of those things. The other thing I would maybe suggest for this one is maybe doing an adhesive back on it, just because as long as you're adhering the whole thing down, it would probably save time on, and you wouldn't have the glue overlay that might seep out behind that tassel, because those tassels are really thin and dainty. That would be my only suggestion for maybe the next time I do these. I will definitely be pulling out this die set for years ahead, because yeah, it worked really well for a whole bunch of graduation cards, making them really fast. So putting those die cuts together, and then of course I added the little green, and I decided I didn't like it, so I ended up coming back in with some diamond dots. Here you go. Some diamond dots. There's like a sparkly one, and so those worked great for the tassel there. Now, I love the fact that the grad on this one is all connected, so I don't have to tape it together and hope for the best. It's just going to be perfectly spaced, and it works out very well. It also comes with the shadow for this one, which would also work well for doing a die cut like shaker style card. So for I had only had a few girls to make for, so of course I had one that had red for their school color, so I did one red, and then the rest were all green, because they were all cousins and or classmates of my youngest. So we did the rest of them in green. But I think I show you the red one. I mean, they're all about the same, right? So it's all good. So I die cut all of my grad panels out, and then I laid, of course, the Bun Intended. I want to say this is Bun Intended number 4 from InkyandScrappy Stamps. They've had a few in the past. I know there's some other options out there. This one was just sized really good for that hat. I hope Laura brings back another Bun Intended in the future. I know that, she won't bring back any of the old ones, but I'm always up for another new Bun Intended stamp set. I loved the sentiment on this one. You are powerful, beautiful, brilliant, and brave. I just thought it was a great girl graduation card sentiment. Yep. So I did leave my die cut letters in here. Would I do it again? Probably not. I would probably pop them out. I was just afraid of you losing all of the little pieces, and that's why I did it this way. But, you know, they probably would have stayed okay if you can tell my desk is a hot mess, and so I tend to lose things if it's not connected to something else. Yeah. I am coming in with some score tape. I'm just doing a little bit of acetate on the back side of that grad. You don't really need to do the whole panel. You don't need to have a lot of it. I want to say it's about 1.25 inch strip. I did not measure it. I just used scrap and made it work. So I am going to press it down with my bone folder here just to make sure it is good and adhered. And then once I have that in, I am going to kind of pick out my letters here. I did add glue onto like the back side of the G here. Usually I would do that before I do it, but because I had the letters in there yet, I was worried about it seeping out and then like gluing the other letter down. And then of course just popping that letter back in a little bit and then pushing the little middle out works very well to get your placement good. You don't need to do it this way. I think in the future ones that I actually did off camera, I don't remember doing it that. I think I just, put my dot of glue on the actual acetate and then place the letter cut out. So it works either way. So for my bun intended, really all you needed to do with this one is color in the hair. Now I started to do the curls on the top of her head, and then I realized, why? You're going to cover it with the grad hat. So I abandoned ship on that one and then just did some color blending on the hair. So this one kind of has your low lights already in there. So, I just kind of tried to give it a little bit more of a rounded head shape by doing it darker up top and then lighter in the middle. And then, of course, blending it out. It actually dried back a little bit lighter than you see here. I also like to match hair color to recipients if I know where the card is going. So, of course, I had some brown-haired beauties, and so that was what I went with for this one. And then I just brought in my skin tone here. I think it's Skin White is the color that I used. It might have been powder, I don't know, vanilla powder, or I don't know. There's a couple of different ones that I tend to reach for skin tone. And then all I'm going to do is just glue that hat on top here. And see, it just worked. It was like perfect. Like I couldn't even have planned this one better. It was all happy accident when I was, creating. I love when that happens. So for this one, I'm going to go with this is I want to say it's double thick foam tape. I picked it up off of Amazon for fairly cheap. I think it's indoor foam tape. Because it's a card and not a scrapbook page, I'm not worried about it being acid and lignin free. Does that make sense? So if you're doing this in scrapbook, I'd probably make sure you're getting a good quality foam tape. But for cards, I usually don't worry about if it's archival quality. Is that the word I'm looking for? Yes, it is. So I'm just going to make my shaker well here, and then of course add in that foam tape on the bottom part just to make sure we're matching height all the way through. And then I like to peel all of my release paper off before I add in my shaker bits. Why? Because usually my biggest fail is when I add the shaker bits before I pull it off, and then I have to pull off the backings, I end up like bumping it or making it spill. So I have a better time getting all of my shaker bits in with the stuff on there. Yes, my camera timed out or ran out of battery. I think it ran out of battery because it wasn't that long of filming. So I did come in. Oh, actually, no. I decided I needed before. So I already have the adhesive back off on this one, but I wanted to do a little bit of color behind my shaker beads. So I went in with some distressed oxides to kind of add a little bit of color behind my words, give them a gradient there. And then I am looking for the ever elusive spoon that I use to put in my shaker bits. I say ever elusive because I've been looking for it this week and I have no clue where it is. It's on my desk somewhere. It's not in its proper cup holder. I'm going to add some glitter, some seed beads, make it shake, give you that shakety shake, and it also helps move the glitter around so it doesn't get stuck as much. And then I'm just going to come in here with some liquid glue because I have adhesive issues. No, I like to make sure everything is stuck down well. Now, my card front and my card is all going to be the same size. It works really good when you're not sure if you're going to line it up perfectly. Removing the foam mat from your MISTI and using that corner to line it all up usually always gives me a great lining up. Sometimes I'm off a little bit, but that's usually the best way to do it, at least for me. So once I had that completed, it really was, for the most part done. I did add a couple of those little gems in here just because I felt that I needed to add a little bit of that shaker. I did add some of these in the shaker as well. So bringing in some of the glitz from the shaker mix onto the front of your card, I think just adds a little bit. And then here are the rest of them. So I just kind of mixed and matched, and I had this gorgeous congratulations paper from Echo Park Paper. And so it worked really well to use up all the rest of my blinged up things. So there's the green version and the red version. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And then of course the inside sentiment came from Colorado Craft Company if you are interested. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. Bye!